Hello and welcome to another edition of Wake and Bake News with your host, Shampoo VTA, Kelly Davis. Hello, how are you? Tuesday. Let's see. So I made some juice. This is pineapple, watermelon, some strawberries, the char, and marijuana leaves. And all the carrots I grew this spring. I grew a little plot of carrots. Ah, so good. Really tastes the watermelon. Okay. So let's get to load our bowl. We're running low again. Typical pot smoker, running low. Still the vanilla kush we're smoking on today. So glad to break out this bud this morning too. Tiki bird. It is so humidity today again. We still got this system in California, and it's hanging out, kind of making it cloudy and warm and muggy. And wake up in the morning, everything's wet. Did it rain? Is it raining? Lighter. Using Captain America. Doo-doo-doo. How come I won't focus on Captain America? Captain America. There. Served you some justice. Oh. Alright. Let's put this where I won't knock it over somewhere. The rest of this bud right there so I can load it up in a few. Drink this. Okay. Monitor capture. Alrighty, let's get to the news. I thought this was a funny cartoon about El Chapo. Okay. The weed blog. It may be a very long time until the High Times Cannabis Cup comes to Oregon. Almost exactly a year ago, I posted an article openly begging High Times to bring their cannabis event to Portland, Oregon. It took a while, but by the end of 2014, High Times announced its intentions of doing exactly that. The announcement came shortly after Oregon voted to legalize recreational marijuana. That prompted a follow-up article, which was one of the most joyous articles I've ever posted on this blog. For a brief time, I was very, very excited. However, as I stated in my original article, finding a suitable location in or around Portland for that type of event was going to be difficult, which has proven to be the case. Most people in Oregon have never been to a Cannabis Cup and have only been to the typical Oregon event. No offense to the usual Oregon cannabis events, but Oregon has never seen anything like a High Times Cannabis Cup. I have been to Cannabis Cups in Colorado and several locations in California, and I can honestly say that it's like nothing I've ever been to in Oregon, and it's not even a contest. whereas Oregon's events are lucky to break the 1,000 attendance mark. Cannabis Cup draws tens of thousands of people every time. Cannabis Cup requires a large stage for world-class music, art, indoor facilities and booths and VIP areas, as well as outdoor areas for people to congregate. Venues that can accommodate an event like that are all over California, Colorado, and Seattle, and Michigan, etc. But they are very rare in Portland and in Oregon in general. Those places that do meet the criteria are virtually off limits to marijuana events due to Oregon's alcohol permit rules per Oregon law. The issue, the Oregon Liquor Control Commission won't allow cannabis consumption at venues that hold liquor licenses. The policy, which the agency spelled out in a recent letter to the alcohol license holders in the state, means bars, restaurants, and any other venue authorized to serve alcohol cannot allow marijuana consumption in their establishment. Yeah, because that would be competition. Well, I'm sure this is for everyone's protection. We have made the decision that any place with a liquor license is public and there is no consumption of marijuana at public places. So allowing people to consume marijuana at a place that has a liquor license puts the liquor license in jeopardy. I see. I don't see the OLCC changing their policies anytime soon, so any venue that hosts the Cannabis Cup will need to be a location that doesn't have a liquor license. That basically means that the only way that the Cannabis Cup comes to Oregon anytime soon is if a privately owned property owner allows it to happen on their property. That's a bummer. Because of the rules there, I guess they're saying it, and I think, they were really hoping to get one. Marijuana found growing in Vancouver traffic circle. I'm not sure this is the same spot. This doesn't look like the same plants. It's a beautiful plant, says a neighbor. I love that this one's even better, about people planting marijuana just randomly, in their town as a protest in Canada. That is so awesome. It's hard to control where weeds grow, but one particular kind of weed, that kind, was found recently in a traffic circle in Vancouver. The healthy-looking marijuana plant was spotted near Ontario Street and 20th Avenue. Yeah, I guess you could shut the door and let him out if he's going to be super squawky. I can't read when you do this, Tiggy. He's so demanding. He's like, what are you doing? You're doing that thing again. You do this every morning. Okay. The healthy-looking marijuana plant was spotted near Ontario Street and 20th Avenue, a central location, residential area. It is growing among other plants and flowering shrubs. It appears to be healthy, and its aroma is noticeable. Someone's bound to throw seeds in one of these places, said nearby resident Eric Lamond, one of several people on the scene Monday, who smells the plant and inspects its buds. He said he noticed other marijuana plants growing in similar traffic circles in the area. I love it, he told CBC News. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful plant. We're enjoying it. Excuse me. We should all be enjoying it, right? It's nature. Last week, RCMP in Swift Current, Sask, responds to calls about marijuana plants discovered in a city planter. They were destroyed. There was no immediate word from officers on where. See, on where I lost my space. Where was it? Growing beautiful plants. Oh. Last week, our RCMP and Swift Current SACs responded to calls. They were destroyed. There was no immediate word from officials on what might become of the Vancouver plant. And they even I shrunk it down. They even have the location, and that is a thing. What the police can do is, if you tag, they'll do this to taggers. If you tag in different places, they'll geolocate where all the tags are when they discover them, and that way they can kind of pinpoint where the kid lives. Because the kid is probably skateboarding out and tagging within the place that he lives, not 10 miles from where he lives. So they can start to zero down on who's doing these taggings, by they mark them now. Like if they see it, they'll put it on their phone and it tags it just with a satellite, and that way you can kind of figure out where this person's coming from. So be careful, you guys out there planting marijuana. I thought about it, and they could trace you unless there's more than one of you, and then that would be tough. All right, let's see. I liked it. It was so friendly. I looked at the neighbors and enjoyed it. And they do look healthy. Oh, and this is about Eric Garner, the guy that filmed Eric Garner, the person that was strangled basically in New York by the police officers for selling, I don't know what it was, untaxed cigarettes or something stupid. His life has been destroyed. They're it's totally revenge. They're so angry at him for filming this that now he's in jail and stuff. Just crazy. It's not. He says he wishes he just minded his own business. And isn't that the chilling effect that they want? That you dared to tell others of the crime we committed, so now we're going to make your life hell?
In today's equity markets, are there any opportunities left?
There's
noise? 3 things to consider.
Shh. Quiet. Okay, this is Bloomberg. I'm going to post this, but it's funny. Why didn't this marijuana TV ad air in Colorado? So this, of course, is about the ad that was supposed to have aired, but I guess ABC affiliates or whoever it was that was in charge of it, was it the corporate office at the top, squashed it, probably because somebody complained when they found out and went, and went and complained to him. Anyway, it's got no marijuana in the ad. It doesn't even show the vape pen or anything. The people here talking about it are so interesting, especially the lady here on Bloomberg. I don't know her name, but the lady reporter talking head is so amazingly misinformed. She's got junior high school level information on marijuana. Well, I don't understand. Don't they just grow it in their garage? I mean, if people need pot, what do they need ads for? I mean, if people want marijuana or pot, or weed, they just go and find it. I mean, her level of understanding of this plant was elementary. I mean, it was like children, I don't understand. Don't they just grow it in their garage? I'm concerned for Bloomberg, and I do hope that they will instruct or somehow educate their reporters much better, because that was really pathetic. This is not high school. People are not, growing in their closet, hiding it from their mom or some weird junk. This is a complicated business. It has many facets, all right? The plant is a complicated plant. There are many strains, there are many varieties, and they do many different things. And we need all of these things studied. We need these things sort of brought to light and, yes, communicated to the public for their own welfare. Not twitty young ladies on Bloomberg going, well, don't they just grow it in their garage? I literally lulled when she started saying that. I was like, holy cow, this is a person that, I mean, it was like high school level knowledge of marijuana. Not to mention the whole setup with, you got the girl that's like, and then the dude that's calmly trying to talk to her. Is this something Bloomberg likes to do? Is this make all the guys feel better or something like that? Here, you play the twit, and I'll just tell you how dumb you are every 5 minutes when you say something. It's just, I guess it's kind of old-fashioned way of looking at the world. Makes people feel better, I guess, to watch that kind of a news organization. I don't know. I mean, seriously, she could do this blog. I mean, seriously, it's the kind of thing somebody would say in this blog. Yeah, sure, if you're just somebody spewing on your computer, you can go ahead and sound like a dipwad like that. But if you're on, like, an actual news source like Bloomberg, you better, tighten it up there. Okay, how marijuana cultivation stacks up against other crops during California's water crisis. I love this story. Okay, I'm going to just take a drink. It's really too hot for tea right now. Oh my gosh. They had all the covers kicked off. The fan blowing directly on the bed. We ideally must have brought some of that Florida weather out here with it. There has been a lot of medical coverage recently regarding the potential impact, media coverage recently regarding, I just make up words, the potential impact of marijuana cultivations have on California's drought crisis. Okay. Local governments like Sacramento's County Board of Supervisors have even started cracking down on marijuana growers and passing emergency water ordinances to restrict cannabis growth in the name of water conservation, according to a report from Fox 40 News. But how much does cannabis cultivation really use? According to a San Francisco Weekly's Chris Roberts, cannabis is pound for pound one of the state's driest highs. Even generous estimates of marijuana water use requirements at about 1 gallon per gram of finished product are considerably low when the water needed for other California pleasures, lower than the water needed for other California pleasures. Okay, so here's a chart to show basically what it is. So if you look here on this chart, here's marijuana. It doesn't even show up on the chart hardly, except a tiny, thin yellow line. And here's almonds, grapes, rice, tomatoes, almonds. I am not understanding almonds. I am not understanding almonds. Why are almonds so amazing? And then why is marijuana getting all the blame when look at all these other crops, So very interesting story. And in 2013 report from the University of California in Berkeley, Biotech Analysis Corporation also found cannabis cultivation posed no greater environmental risk than any other California crop. The study notes that the best thing for Californians' waterways and environmental well-being would be to legalize and recreate cannabis production, regulate cannabis production, thereby decreasing the number of damaging practices by criminals and unregulated parties. And that's the Oregon transplant story. But yeah, see, that's nice, and we're getting a lot of this kind of draconian uh, uh, water usage. It's more like a way to make other people suffer for the water shortage and not you, because there are a lot of people that are. I mean, I was over in one neighborhood and I saw a guy sprinkler shooting in the air. His grass was all green, so. Okay. El Chapo escape underscores urgency of drug law reform, advocates say. I thought this was very good. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman's brazen escape last week from a maximum security Mexican prison prompted anger from U.S. officials, advocates who want to see change to drug laws argue now is the time to reassess current policies. Corruption, extortion, border violence, those were the standard talking points, topics by Texas lawmakers following Joaquin El Chapo Guzman's brazen escape last week from a Mexican prison, or maximum security Mexican prison, a Mexican security prison. What are you saying, Kelly? Now, some advocates hope to add drug policy reform to their list, arguing that Guzman's capture, backed to power of Sinaloa cartel, should lead to new discussions on how much outlawing empowers the world's most ruthless drug lords. Outlawing drugs empowers the world's most ruthless drug lords. Organizations like Law Enforcement Against Prohibition, or LEAP, a worldwide group whose members include current and former peace officers, prosecutors, and correctional officers, wasted little time in sounding the alarm about a possible increase in violence after Guzman's escape. Rusty White, a former correction officer, canine handler, and watchtower sniper, who is one of LEAP's 17 Texas-based members, said Guzman's escape could escalate a war with rival cartels that sought to gain traction in disputed turf after Guzman's arrest in February 2014. Chapo's been controlling the borders of the United States forever. Now that he's back out, now that he's back out with whoever he put in place, there's likely going to be more violence when the power struggle starts again, he said. He added that our law enforcement officials, someday these people are going to have to look in the mirror, like all of us did, and realize we are a part of the problem and not part of the solution. Guzman's disappearance makes him the world's most wanted criminal once again. The Mexican government has offered a $3.8 million reward for his capture, and his escape through a mile-long channel has increased tensions between Mexico and the United States and permanently stained Mexican President Enrique Pena Nieto's legacy. Guzman is still wanted in the United States and remains one of the most wanted list for the Drug Enforcement Agency El Paso Division. Advocates pushing to decriminalize drugs concede they face an uphill battle in the United States, but they say Guzman's escape has prompted a conversation. While there is significant opposition to legalizing drugs like cocaine and heroin, support is growing for loosening marijuana laws. Cocaine and heroin abuse is far less than marijuana use. So even if you legalized it, I mean, really, how many people get into heroin? Like, are there people running out there? I need some heroin. No, there aren't. People are not. I thought that was a good article. how El Chapo's escape kind of points out that if we legalize drugs in America, that it would really help Mexico, because then these drug cartels and stuff couldn't just take over. And I mean, they've taken over the whole country. You could just walk out of there. They took a tunnel. It was like 20 miles, and then had a go-kart to meet him there so they could drive. He could drive out. Police forces give cannabis users green light to grow drugs. Okay, now this is a British paper, so naturally they're going to have this really bizarre sentence where police force gives cannabis users green light to grow drugs. So we got the word cannabis and drugs in the same sentence. This is the weirdness you get as prohibition, changes in places where it's still a stronghold. For all of us living in the land of we're legalizing, to read these things is just becoming more and more strange. Durham Police and Crime Commissioner Ron Hogg says the force will not proactively target small-scale cannabis producers who are growing for their own use. Again, this is in England. This is in England. Apparently, this guy said that he thought that the war on drugs was wrong, and he thought decriminalization was the way to go. And now he's coming out and saying that his police force is not going to go after small-time growers. So this paper is, the police are allowing drugs to be grown. It's so funny. It's like, no, police are talking rationally. That should be the headline. Okay, a police force has given drug users a green light to grow cannabis at home after declaring that officers will no longer proactively target small-scale producers. In a move which will be seen as a further step towards decriminalization, Durham Police has said it will only go after people growing and using the drug if they are compliant. If there is a complaint, or if they are being blatant, like growing it in your front yard, where people can see. Your neighbors don't complain. Apparently, it's a don't smell, don't tell policy. While the force has insisted it will continue to tackle large-scale cannabis farms and other areas of criminality associated with the drug, those who grow and use the cannabis at home will not be actively pursued. The move comes in the wake of comments by the force's chief constable, Mike Barton, who has argued that investigating and prosecuting drug addicts is a waste of police time. Good for you. Mr. Barton has also called for the decriminalization of hard drugs such as heroin and cocaine, which he's right. Okay, I'm sorry, we're all going to be brokenhearted about this, but he's right. You can't even begin to help those people if you're driving them underground. Arguing that if they were supplied on the NHS, addicts would not need to go out and commit crime in order to buy illegal narcotics. It's like, wow, look, reason, logic, look at that. 2 and 2 equals 4 and not 5. The new approach to cannabis production came from the Forces Police and Crime Commissioner, Ron Hogg, who said that anyone caught in possession of a drug would be given the opportunity to avoid prosecution by signing up to a crime reduction initiative. I wonder what that is. What's the crime reduction initiative? Cannabis users who have committed less than 3 crimes would be eligible for a program and would only be prosecuted if they failed to comply. Mr. Hogg, a former policeman, himself told the Northern Echo cannabis use is still illegal and smoking it is still a crime. But if you are caught, you will get this opportunity to stop reoffending. By and large, we are saying it is not the top of our list to go out and try to pick up people smoking joints on the street corners, but it is, if it is blatant or we get officers will act. He added, it's about keeping people out of the criminal justice system and reducing costs. It's about being more proactive with the way we approach things. It's also about seeking to prevent future use by keeping people out of prison. My position is clear. I support decriminalization of users and support debate around the use of cannabis for medicinal purposes. And this guy is a constable, right? Okay, what we're trying to do now is push forward for a national debate on drug policy. It's quite clear that what has been done for 40 years is not working, and we need a different approach. However, Simon Steffens of Northeast Drug Charity Addiction said the move towards decriminalization was irrelevant from a health perspective. He said, cannabis is still implicated in psychosis and mental it sounds like you got psychosis and mental problems. Okay, so this guy came on and did some fear mongering, the usual stooge. We got him here too. Puppet comes up, but it's still, at a federal level. I should get a puppet. I should get a prohibitionist puppet. But it's still at a federal level. Cannabis is still implicated in psychosis and mental. Should get like a little puppet, a prohibitionist puppet. So we can do all these lines, because all these lines pretty much sound the same. Fear, fear, children, fear, fear, be afraid. Be afraid, clutch your pillow tightly at night. Alright, if the chief constable of the police crime commissioner and the police crime commissioner want to indulge in that policy, then it is not necessary to make it public, because clearly making this sort of announcement will serve to encourage anyone who is minded to grow their own cannabis. Okay, what? So they're supposed to come up with this, but not don't tell anyone. Just make them think we're still doing it. Because that's clear communication with the public, which is what the police should have. Many of the seeds available on the market today are for very strong strains, which increasingly have been found to be linked to psychosis. Wait, Puppet Man needs to come out. Many of the seeds available on the market today are for the very strong strains, which have increasingly been found to be linked to psychosis. Oh my god, that's funny. I love how they bring in the and here's our stand-in prohibitionist to say the usual things that prohibitionists say, and go. It's like a stock thing now that prohibitionists say. Oh, that's so funny to me. Marijuana is bad. That's all I could find this morning, and I went fishing all last night. This morning, cast out my hook upon the waters, and this is what I came back with. Although I will say the story about the how CBD might help to heal broken bones has really gone nuts. And mostly what I see is it's sort of, strange sort of news sites are picking it up, and the Huffington Post. So the Huffington Post touched on it. So it's like it's blowing up, but it's blowing up under the radar, which is fascinating, because now it's starting to make me think maybe this is like legit. Maybe the broken bone thing is legit, and the study from Israel is legit. And they are so freaked out about it that they're just like, no, we won't republish it. No. Because it could be, that it's not true. Or it could be like with the epilepsy thing where, no, it's absolutely true. And if it's absolutely true, oh wow, are these guys in trouble? And I want them all to understand what they're in for. You know, if you look at this Bloomberg video where they're talking about the ad, at the end, the gentleman that's reporting on it, who's of course supposed to be the even-tempered one and not the one that's saying weird, crazy things like the lady is. Okay, that's his role, obviously, in that play. Anyway, he says at the end that understand that this is going to be legal in many states, and that he's implying that you are going to be seeing ads, and that whatever it is that's in your head had better get ready to change. Sorry. Change is inevitable and constant, and if you're not ready for it, then I'm not sure that you're going to make it. That's what life is, change, constant and total change. So these guys, and eventually history will look back. People will be curious about this time period. They will go, well, exactly what lies were being told. And maybe in the future there won't be someone out there that's gonna, haul your pail of water for you, prohibitionists. And they won't care. And then your progeny or business or whoever's left after you will have to deal with the shade where Kevin Sabat is now the poster boy for the concept of prohibition throughout time and space, through all eternity, pinned up on somebody's locker in Shuttlecraft 7 on Mars. Well, this guy, yeah, he's like that meme about that Kevin Sabat guy. No, like 200 years ago, and he was trying to. I know, it's so funny. I love it. I learned that in school. Seriously, history will judge you. You are making yourself look stupid. Yeah, until the Declaration of Independence got finally signed, one dude did not want to be held responsible for blocking a country from starting. He didn't do it because he believed in America, at least not according to 1776 when you watch this movie. He did it because he didn't want to be remembered. He was not like other people. He didn't want to be remembered. He didn't want to be, remembered especially for that. He was a very intelligent man, at least in this movie version of our history. He was also, I think, one of our first Supreme Court judges. Anyway, he was a very intelligent man who walked away from his 15 minutes of fame, even though he got his 15 minutes of fame. He was making the wise attempt to walk away from the bad 15 minutes of fame, because he could have been the guy that said no, and then there wouldn't have been America, And boy, wouldn't that have been a hell of a thing to live with. I'm not sure that many of these prohibitionists are intelligent enough to understand that. That they're tying themselves to a rock that's sinking to the bottom of the ocean. No matter what you have in the news, doesn't matter. What you allow. Oh, gosh, it's nice to get high again. Yay! It is the best part of waking up. Oh gosh, my skin and everything's so sticky. Everything's sticky. My hair, like you touch your hair, it feels like you've been like in a pool, like all day, and you just cut it out, and it's like muggy. Everything's sticky and sticky. Yesterday I got up and I was just, all sticky, muggy, right? We don't have air conditioning in the house. And I went to put my hair back like this, and the hair just stuck to my hands. This is like trying to get it off. It was like cobwebs, not hair. It was horrible. Whew. And I can feel it's starting to warm up again. It's like 9:46. Let's see. We can find out how hot it is right now. I go to this. Oh no, not my local paper. My local paper is kind of annoying. They want you to sign up to read stuff. It's kind of conservative. They just kind of like everything that stupid what's his name? That old man on Fox. What the hell's his name? You know, the one that's in the spin factor zone thing. That guy. They like write everything that guy says. I'm like, that guy's like a freaking old man. Why are we even? Okay, so it says here. What's it say right? Oh, there it is. Temperature right now 72. Humidity is 87%. Oh my god. Oh my god. It is so hot and muggy. Today, low clouds and fog with patchy drizzle in the morning. That's why it was all wet outside. Oh my gosh, it looks like it's going to be kind of cloudy. What? Did I just read rain again? What? This is the El Nino. This is the El Nino coming to get us. Fog in the morning. Yeah, pretty much we're going to have this overcast, it looks like, for the next week. More low fog, Sunday, Monday, areas of fog and clouds. Oh boy. And I think this is all coming from someplace. Let's see if we can get the animation working. See if the animation will work for you guys. Where is this all coming from? There's nothing out there. It's just a lot of moisture. It's just moist. That's what it is. It's just moist. That's what's going on. This is where I live, see? Oxnard, Santa Barbara, Los Angeles, and I live here in between Oxnard and Santa Barbara. Bakersfield, that's where my son was born. Oh, I see. Yeah, there is some kind of big, like, bunch of stuff in the air. See, look at all these cloud things here happening. What is it? Radioactive? What is it? That's look all weird like that. Okay, so that's enough of that. Oh, I didn't have the monitor capture up. I have to put this up so you can see. Duh, stupid. Okay, so like this is the website I go to when I want to look at my local weather, and this is a website that's like done by some guy that's just here and does it. I don't know why. There's no ads. I love this person's work. Anyway, they've got a webcam. I just love what they've done here. It tells you the weather, so 72 temperature, the wind, it's 87% humidity. God knows I can feel it. It's horrible. It's horrible. Historical weather information. And then here he's got, and these are probably just like little widgets he's gotten from other websites and he put together. See? So this here, this report probably comes from some other website. And maybe some of the stuff he types up, but it probably does it pretty much on its own. It's just really neat. Whoever this person is that's done this, it's really neat. Let's see. It says today low clouds and fog with patchy drizzle in the morning with partly clouds, high from the low 70s at the beaches to low 80s inland. Tonight, partly cloudy, early then low clouds and fog. Lows in the mid 60s. Well, that'll be better than last night, that's for darn sure. And then pretty much for the rest of the week, it looks like low clouds. And then the animation stuff I'm looking at is, you see, here's the infrared, and this comes from wherever, some other here, NOAA.gov. You can see the up at the top in the URL. So this person's created a website where it's basically a bunch of widgets from, weather sites, and he's put them together to make this extremely informative page. And I love this person's work. I really do. There's even an El Nino forecast and a link to the earthquake map, although I think it's an old. Oh, is it updated? No, it's an old link. So it doesn't show the earthquake map anymore. You got to go look at the latest earthquakes. And when you're in California, this is a good little. Here's a tip to weed porn daily. Get this on your phone. Get the earthquake map on your phone, because you'll feel them occasionally and you'll wonder. It's not a big deal. It's not that scary. But you'll go, oh, I wonder where that was, and I wonder how strong it was and everything. And you can look at that with this simple thing that USGS offers. See, and here I've set up for the last 2 days earthquakes, and I'm using the satellite imagery so you can see it looks like instead of the weird map thing, and then you can click on this latest earthquake and it says like 5.2 Nubu Alafa Tonga. I don't know where that is. There, and I kind of have fun watching the earthquake map, because if you watch it over a long period of time, the one thing you notice is, there's a hell of a lot of earthquakes suddenly in the middle of the United States, and apparently it has to do with fracking. And they weren't there before. But I mean, I've been watching this for 1,000 years. I've only been watching this for like 2 years or something. Okay, so the other thing I noticed is that, yes, this is definitely the Ring of Fire, and the biggest earthquakes happen out here near Japan and Australia. Really big earthquakes. Tons of earthquakes happen right there. This little location, this little island in South America. Haiti, I don't know what it's called. Big. I saw some people talking about it. Right here. This island here. And the reason for that is because it's on a shelf. Puerto Rico. It's on this shelf. You can see the shelf, right? And so the shelf is always having crumbly things falling off of it. So the island sticks up out of the water, right? So it's always, so it's kind of like, actually I think like this. So it's like, it's always kind of crumbly and falling. So they feel it a lot there. But this is the USGS earthquake map, and that's attached to this guy's website, which I thought was just brilliant. And it affords you a way of tracking earthquakes, tracking the weather. Oop. And when the rainy season comes, and if we're going to have an El Nino this year, it's going to be kind of a thing to have some kind of Doppler that you follow weather. I'm sure if you lived in Florida, you already know that. For Weed Porn Daily, if you lived in Florida, you already know to have some kind of a weather program. Well, here we don't get hurricanes and all that stuff, but what we get is a hell of a lot of rain. And all of our hillsides are like made of sand. And people build $1 million homes on sand. And you will see $1 million homes slowly fall off of a hill. It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm not sure there's a fire app, but you'll see when it's dry, which we've had for like the last 5-10 years, fires happen a lot, and you can definitely see them, and they're very exciting when they get really super big. But I mean, I haven't seen really huge fires since like the 90s, I think. Is when the last time I saw, or the early 2000s is the last time I saw really big fires where you could see them all lighting up the mountain over there, And Jim Morrison song about how, LA woman, or whatever, like her hair's on fire or whatever. Yeah, you'll be in LA and look up and see the hills on fire. It's just a natural process, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. I really like this site. I don't use it unless, of course, there's weather. I got a couple of sites I go to that are my usual deal. Okay, like Reddit. Reddit is my go-to site. Here's some internet tips for you. Reddit is my go-to site. You can find so many things out on Reddit and just look at the top and see what's trending. Like trees. Let's go to trees, which is where everybody's talking about weed. Hence, I present to you an albino cannabis plant. What? Oh my dear. That is an albino. Wow. That is freaky looking. Oh, I'm gonna repost this on my Tumblr. It's another nice thing is that a lot of these guys are posting their images on this site, and then this site has links to tons of other sites, so you can repost them, and they end up getting spread around. It's the fun of social media, and I give them a heart. A heart. It looks like a weird, creepy white spider. It's just a little spooky. It's a little spooky. It's like translucent, spooky, weird. I mean, I would almost think, is it unhealthy? That is freaky. That is freaky. What are the comments on this? 216 comments. I'll repost the same comment I did last time. This was posted. Cauliflower Kush. To which somebody will reply, cauliflower Kush. Ah, cauliflower Kush. There you go. Oh wow, that's fantastic. Well done, lol chap. So smooth. So smoothly done. Wow, that would be the perfect name for a strain looking like this. Bravo. Cauliflower Kush. Cauliflower Kush. That's funny. Let's see. Magpie outsmarts stoners. Ah! It stole his joint. That's funny. I don't know if you'll get to see it. I'm gonna save that one so I can post it. That's funny. That's awesome. Okay, I'm saving the Magpie outsmarts. I'll add that one. That was great. I hope that showed up. Oh man. Okay, I got this back up. Oh, where are you? You're doing a thing again. You're doing a thing again. There you are. We're back. Okay. So, happy Tuesday. And hopefully you're having not so muggy a week, because it's kind of sticky muggy and gloomy here in California. But it's certainly warm. It isn't like it isn't warm. And it's not normally like this time of year. I'm starting to think we're going to have a hectic El Nino for winter. If this is what it's like right now, if it's still strong when actual winter hits, ooh. If it's going to hang out all next year, we may get some mudslides and stuff going on. Because we haven't had much rain. Things have died back quite a bit. What's to hold all the hillsides in if we get like a big rain? Because it's almost like a burn back when we have big fires and then mudslides happen afterwards. It's a little bit makes me nervous because we live, there's hills everywhere, but we live on a hill. We always get a little nervous when it starts raining. Alrighty, so you stay high and goodbye, but I will take one of my last hits with you here. And I will see you tomorrow for another episode. What the fuck am I thinking? I'm so stupid. I'm supposed to tell you. Tokin Daily is going to have some kind of show on Weed Maps. I will put that in the link in the description. I am so stupid to forget that. Tokin Daily put out this video, Weed Maps put out a video, and it said introducing Tokin Daily, and it was like all like mysterious and stuff, and then it shows him, and he's like, okay, let me get this straight. Weed Porn Daily, I think, got hired by 420 Goody Box. I'm not sure, but I think that's his new job. And Tokin Daily is doing some reports for Weed Maps. I love what's happening here. I just love whatever is happening here. Good for them, man. That's so awesome. I think that's just so cool. Wow, good for them. Okay, so you stay high and goodbye, and I'll put that video in the link, and you can see how one of our fellow stoners in the community, and somebody who certainly deserves it, worked really hard on, promoting the healthy living aspect of marijuana and showing off buds and melt shots, and just really doing a great job representing the community. He deserves that. Yeah, he deserves that little light shining on him, little spotlight. So adios, stoners.